I just need to vent, because why am I always the second option? Every single time, I swear, I'm always the backup option. I'm always the option until a different option comes around, and I get it. I have a complicated life and headstrong. I have 3 kids. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a single mom with 2 baby daddies. I understand all of that. It's not an easy situation. And the ones that I, want to give me a chance, they just treat me like shit. And then the ones that I'm not interested at all, those are the ones that are like, there's some of us out here that are trying and you just aren't giving us a chance. Well, Bob, you're 67 years old. What do you want me to do? Of course I don't want to give you a chance. Yes, I'm not dating my father. What do you want from me, Mark? You're sexualizing my body before you even have a conversation with me. What do you expect from me? User 6547829118512. I don't even know your first name. Who are you? What do you look like? Of course I'm not giving you a chance. Like, let's use our brains a little bit here, guys, okay?
You stupid.
Well, allow me to set some of your insecurities to rest there, sweetheart. You are most certainly not the second choice, at least not for a relationship. You see, dudes see a single mother of 3 kids with 2 baby daddies who endlessly whines on TikTok, and they see you as a backup plan when the current broadie's porking picked up an extra shift down at Waffle House. Those dudes will get endless chances with you. Meanwhile, the men who put their best foot forward are shot down for being too old or apparently guilty of the horrific crime of finding you physically desirable. So does that mean you only want dudes who think you're bug fugly and demand you wear a paper bag over your head while the 2 of you engage in some stain making with your overused slime canyon of sheer terror? Well, of course not. You only want certain types of men to lust after your body, and those are the men who treat you like dirt. The rest of us must meet your higher standards, but don't worry about that, darling. We're not gonna meet them. We don't feel like it, so we're just gonna leave you to you and your insanity. You're welcome.
The only people I actually give a chance are people that I've had face-to-face conversations with. Even if we haven't met in real life, we've FaceTime, we've been on the screen, we've been face-to-face with each other. You can't connect over a DM, especially if you're not even my type in the first place. I don't know who you are. We're not friends. You don't have a profile picture. Your name's not in your bio, and your username says Big Daddy Mac. Hey, can I take you out to dinner? No, who are you? Of course no woman is gonna go out on a date with you. But when you actually have a conversation or you're talking to someone and then they pick somebody else, that's when you're justified in saying, I never get picked, or whatever you guys want to complain about. Women don't feel safe. That's why they're not going out with you. It's not your personality. It's not that you're ugly. You haven't made her feel safe enough to go out with you. Stop blaming it on the women when it's probably your own doing. I get picked second though, and I see them in person or over the phone or FaceTime. So that what does that say about me, I guess?
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
Well, that's just it, isn't it, woman? You did get picked. Twice, and both of those guys are now fathers to your illegitimate children. And now that you damaged yourself beyond any form of recognition, you expect average men to accommodate all of your demands and standards? I mean, lady, you need to take what you can get here. And if there are pathetic simps out there who are willing to exchange their dignity just to meet you, then that's probably going to be your best and only bet. But it's also those guys' fault as to why you don't feel safe, as opposed to the 2 dudes you allowed to knock you up. You're trying to make average dudes atone for the crimes of some men that you found desirable, and it doesn't work that way, sweetheart. From the looks of this, after this video, you'll be lucky to be considered the backup plan to even the most hopeless of simps, because there's just some things that aren't worth having, and you rank fairly high on that particular list, darling.
How to detach from an ex, a situationship, or anyone else you know is not good for you. 3-step formula. Step 1, accept your delusion and ground yourself in reality. I know you think you're so obsessed with this person, but you're really not. You're obsessed with the idea of them, with the fantasy version of them that you created in your head. Because the reality is we can only become that obsessed with someone who's not available to us, who's not present with us. And our brain fills in the gaps by creating stories and fantasizing. Step 2, to detach, first figure out what you're attached to. What does this person give you that you're craving? Is it validation, attention, physical touch, money? And once you figure it out, you're going to go to step 3, which is figure out how to give that to yourself. For example, if you're attached to validation, maybe do affirmations in the morning or set personal goals and reward yourself as you hit milestones in the pursuit of them. If you like the attention, maybe get active on social media, go out and meet new people in clubs, classes, community groups. If you're attached to the physical aspect, get in touch with your own body more, go to yoga, go to dance, hug your friends and family more, or get intimate with yourself, learn how to pleasure yourself. If it's the money, increase your financial literacy, make a budget, learn about investing, figure out how to increase your income. And for each of these things, you attract what you are. So I'm willing to bet as you level up your own life, you are going to attract a partner who can fill those needs for you and many more.
Yikes. Well, good luck with all that.
You know, I hate to break it to you, sister, but everything you listed are things you should have figured out about 15 years ago. Now, the finance thing, that's completely pointless. You're obviously broke, and money management was something you should have learned before your high school took pity on you when they agreed to give you a diploma. And getting validation through social media is also pointless because you get that in spades, and all it does is make you even more delusional. And you're so zonked out on romantic comedies and antidepressants that you're not capable of letting go of any fantasy whatsoever. You live your life as if you're the main character to a completely bland, boring, and unoriginal movie that actually made negative $17 at the box office, which means that your life has made $17 less than nothing at all. And if you're trying to figure this out when you're over the age of 30, well then it's too late for you, sweetheart. There's no detaching from the mess that you made.
I know it, your family knows it. Dogs know it.
You know when you find out the name of the ex-girlfriend of the guy that you're talking to and you get to go cyberstalk and it's like literally like how many platforms can I stalk? Like can I find your mom's Facebook from 2016? I tried to do that with one of the guys that I talked to earlier this year because he brought up his ex so much that I was missing her too, okay? Like every conversation she would get brought up, I was like, baby, like go take her back, like or like go fight for her. Like at that point, like I became obsessed with her too, okay? And I went to stalk her, like I'm a natural girl. She's private on literally every platform, okay? I tried every single fucking platform. I wanted to see. He would be like, oh, she's so crazy and tell me what she's doing. I'm like taking notes. I'm like, I love you. So obviously all of her things are private. I went to her Instagram, her sorority's Instagram, and I stalked that so I could find like one singular picture of her baddie, okay?
Obsessed much.
How far have we fallen as a society when meth squirrels like this think it's totally natural to stalk somebody? I mean, sure, anything you post on social media is effectively a public record, but lady, listen to what you're saying here. You're tracking down the mother of the ex of a dude that you're currently seeing in an attempt to find out what this ex-girlfriend looks like, and yet it's the current dude you're talking to who's obsessed with her. Now, it sounds to me like you're just the placeholder. This guy is currently screening you for a temporary bed warming position as he waits for the woman he really wants to become available. But you look like you want to burn down that prestigious rank, all because you'd rather track down this dude's ex instead of breaking up with him for not being over his ex, which is something a normal person would actually do.
The problem is that every single time I'm ever talking to anyone, their ex is a baddie. Like, I'm sorry, like the guys, they might be ugly, but like they pull baddies, and that's the truth of the matter. But this one in particular, I found out today through the grapevine that she watches my TikToks, and that was the most validating feeling, okay? Because I don't care about him anymore.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Okay, I've moved on. I've lived and I've learned, and it wasn't even that deep. But I still think about her to this day because the chokehold she had on that man was impressive. It was impressive work. I'm a fan of your work, okay? And just like the fact that a baddie is like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the validation I needed. So I kept this ominous. I don't know if she ever knew I was talking to him, and I would hate for her to not be a fan of mine because of that. But love you so much. I just wanted to say that made my day.
Run!
So the validation you needed in life came from stalking an ex-girlfriend of some dude you weren't even interested in, and you seek solace in the fact that this woman who you don't even know finds your TikToks to be passable, and all it took was for you to dedicate hours of your life into finding out anything you could about this woman instead of, you know, not being a psycho. But I get it, you don't know any other way. You seem to have an impressive collection of ugly men who all seem to lock down baddies, while all you have to look forward in life is to making TikTok videos in hopes that this random woman will comment on your video and tell you that it's perfectly fine with your freakishly obsessive nature. And even when you did all of this, it was to make yourself feel better and nothing more. Because at the end of the day, the only way for you to feel good about yourself is to seek the opinions of people you apparently stalk.
Good, but I would say it's horrible yet terrible. Ugly yet disgusting. You suck.
This is your friendly reminder to talk to strangers because this morning I left the house at 7 a.m. with no plan for the day other than to go snorkeling 45 minutes away from here. So I went to Publix, bought a snorkel solo, drove the 45 minutes, was snorkeling for like an hour. Then I saw a girl my age also snorkeling and I swam up to her and I was like, are you finding anything cool? And she was like, yeah, I found a starfish. You want to come see it? I was like, absolutely. So we kicked it for a couple hours there together. Turns out we have a ton in common. She's super cool. And she was like, wait, I know a better spot. Do you want to come? I was like, yeah, obviously. So we drove to a different beach. We snorkeled there for a little while. And then, you know, the day's coming to an end and I was like, what are you doing tonight? She was like, really nothing. I was like, do you want to do something? She was like, do you want to go to happy hour? I was like, obviously. Happy hour might as well be written on my forehead. So guess where we're going? Happy hour. She is going to meet me here in like, I don't know, probably 30 minutes. And we're going to go downtown. You got to have conversations with random people because you just don't know where one conversation is going to take you. It will set up your whole day in a way that you never even anticipated. So anyway, fit check. This is from Loft. This is from Marshalls and Shoes Patage. And busted knees and legs are from soccer and my penny boarding longboarding stint that didn't go over so well. All right. She said that there's a spot downtown with really good key lime pie martinis, and it sounds like that's got my name written all over it. So, see you on the other side of that.
No, that's not necessary.
So all it takes for you to make a new friend is to be enticed by the sweet, soothing smell of pure alcohol, huh? Well, can't really say I'm surprised on that one. Modern women have pretty much turned casual drinking into a professional sport, and you can tell by the look on this woman's face that she is relieved to be getting drinks with some random broad she met while snorkeling. And if you ask me, this is all getting kind of out of hand. The amount of drinking these women do would make most Irish coal miners tell them to slow down a bit. And this is why I'll always be of the firm belief that cirrhosis of the liver is going to become the new mysterious ailment among modern women. Scientists won't be able to explain why, but I'm fairly certain men are going to be the ones to blame. And I can't wait for that explanation. It's going to be hilarious. Which is why I can always say thank you to the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon for their continued support of this channel. Bounty Board, if we're ever able to meet up for frosty beverages over at Skeeter's house, you don't need to worry. The root beer's always frosty over here. All hail! And if you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube.
If I were dating again, these are the 3 questions that I would ask at the very beginning of a relationship or dating talking stage. 1, what's your relationship like with your family? Whether it's important to you to have a relationship with your family or not, or whether it's important to them, it's important to know what that relationship is. It's important to know if there's any backstories or things that you need to be aware of, habits, practices, etc. 2, where do you see yourself in give or take 5 to 10 years? And you can flesh this out with, do you see yourself still living here in LA? Do you see yourself having a family? Do you see yourself progressing in your career? Do you see yourself changing careers? But generally speaking, where do you see yourself? And it's important when you ask this question not to put pressure on what their answer is. If their answer is something that you don't agree with or you don't want, that's more information for you. And then 3rd and finally, how do you like to spend your free time? And they don't need to like to do the same things as you, but if they like to sleep until 2 p.m. on a Saturday, you probably want to know that. If they like to spend all day Saturday golfing, again, you probably want to know that. You want to enter the dating world with as much information as you can without putting people on the spot or pressurizing them.
Emotional damage.
Woman, you're not dating right now. You made it clear that you're not dating, but that's not stopping you from asking psychologically invasive questions about a dude on the first date. And when you're not asking this guy to do a deep dive into his family history, you're asking him dumbass job interview questions. That whole where do you see yourself in 5 years question is as stupid in a job interview as it is for a first date. The only fair question is what this guy likes to do in his spare time, but regardless of how he answers, it doesn't matter. Your first 2 questions have turned what should have been a nice time for 2 people to get to know each other into a pointless interrogation where everything this poor guy says is going to be used against him. And all of this obviously stems from some kind of relationship trauma that you refuse to deal with. Instead, that poor dude has to pay for the sins of the Chad, and he got away with those sins decades ago. So no thanks, woman. If I want to be interrogated, I'll fly internationally.
You have failed conclusively. It's over. And there is nothing that you can do here in this room that can turn that around.
When a relationship ends and you feel depressed, what's going on is that as you have become willing to go deeper because you're adventurous and you're stepping into the unknown, and this other person is staying in place because they feel that stepping into the unknown will expose their shadow in some way that could be unbearable. So you're going deeper, they're staying in place. In that moment, you absorb their wounds in the transit. It's like you pass through an invisible membrane wherein you feel all of the suffering that they are not acknowledging honestly themselves. So that's why you have to give yourself time to grieve. You are grieving what you just witnessed, which is something that is literally tragic when someone is unable to face themselves and whatever is going on with them unconsciously. It's quite sad. So it's coming from your compassion, and you can't give yourself a hard time about taking a while to get over relationships when you are like that, when you are compassionate. Now, what's going on with them is, you have gone deeper, they're staying in place. They experience that as being left behind by you.
What?
Hey, lady, is there any reason as to why you're wearing X-ray protection goggles while talking about this? I mean, if you are, that's fine, I guess, but it makes about as much sense as what you're saying. Now, I had to do some low-level algebra to figure this out, and it pretty much boils down to this. If you break up with a dude and you're depressed, it's not because you pulled the plug on something due to your own entitled sense of self-sabotage. It's because you're somehow absorbing this man's depression and it's making you depressed. I mean, at least I think that's what you're talking about. It's kind of hard to tell, but it sounds like your unhappiness is rooted in not trying to get over the breakup, but the hopes that the dude who broke up with you is somehow just as, if not more, depressed than you, which means that in a way, you're practically celebrating the mere idea of a man being miserable without you, and that's kind of psychotic, especially when this kind of behavior will never be tolerated in a man if he were to say this kind of crap out loud.
They may have been the first one to back out of the dynamic because they're wanting to save face, but they still see what has really happened here, which is that you have kicked into a new gear, and so therefore they feel stranded by you. That's why you're exhausted a lot, because their energy is all over you. They're trying to anchor your consciousness back with them. They're casting spells on you. Typically, this is in the form of unconscious obsessive thinking for them that's running in the background, but you feel that. Now, I recommend cleaning that up because that's not good for you. You can't use your compassion to house someone else's unconsciousness. That's very draining. And you are the stronger magician here, so step into your sanctuary and do your thing to protect yourself. Longing is beautiful because it softens your heart, but we are not meant to stay there. You are winding all of that compassion back to yourself. I hope this helps.
That lame excuse is not going to work when you use it.
Oh, I get it now. You're wearing X-ray glasses to hide your shame and pure idiocy. You're miserable over the fact that yet another situationship has ended with this dude wanting nothing to do with you. And you're exhausted because you have to face that fact that you're old and have no more options. But instead of dealing with the issues, you project them onto the dude who's already moving on with his life. He couldn't care less about what you're doing or how you're feeling because he's too busy with his own crap. This isn't a description of what's happening with this guy. It's a wish list. You're hoping that this guy feels miserable, that he's sad and he misses you terribly, and the mere idea of someone else being more miserable than you provides you with just a little bit of comfort, because as a modern woman over the age of 50, your life is nothing unless you can make as many innocent bystanders unhappy as you recklessly destroy your own life. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.